Hey, what's going on, Blue Crew? So we've got a pretty good show for you today. We're not, I don't know that we're as funny today as we normally are. Today's kind of, it's time to get a little serious or serious, you know. Serious.
Now you're getting funny.
Now we're getting funny.
Okay.
I guess it's just part of who we are. But today's topic is going to be exclusive. It's an exclusive, and this comes directly from the Tatum report. And it's a source inside the Metro DC police says officer from a viral video is being unjustly targeted. And so we're going to dig into that just a little bit. But before we do, what are your thoughts kind of as you were reading over and learning about some of this stuff? As an officer yourself, man, how does it?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that most of you that are watching this and listening have probably are aware of what's going on. But why don't you just kind of touch real quickly on the subject we're talking about? Just to make sure everybody's got knows about the circumstance going on.
Yeah, so everybody should be aware. I mean, if you weren't aware of what happened with Ma'Khia Bryant, then you've been sleeping at the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, Ma'Khia Bryant was getting ready to stab another girl, and knife in her hand.
Yeah.
And the officer took action. Justified.
Seems like what you're supposed to do.
Completely justified. And today was, and we're going to get into this here in a second, but there was an officer that was caught on video. Now, here's the thing about this video is this video was edited, right? This video was actually longer than what was presented to the department, and they were antagonizing this officer. And they asked this officer a question, and the officer answered it with 100% fact, right? There was nothing that was inaccurate about what the officer said. And we're gonna dig into that. And so this is a topic that, all last year, guys, we saw all of the riots. We saw all of the violence happening in Seattle, in Portland, Minneapolis, and cities all over the nation. And the sad thing about it is that there were a lot of people that were speaking up and saying, why aren't the officers stepping in? And I remember us having several meetings about, how do we address this? Right? Because there's some people that believe, well, the officer should step in and do the right thing, and pardon my language here, job be damned. And then there's other people that say, well, they're following orders. The problem really isn't with the officers themselves. It's with the higher ups. There's too much politics that's involved. And so
imagine that.
Yeah. And so, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, first of all, just again, backing up, we got a situation here where someone was about to stab someone else in the motion, and an officer, someone we pay to serve and protect, did their job. Okay? That's pretty cut and dry. That's
agreed.
That's basically all there is to it.
And might I add, saved another black life in the process.
Exactly. Saved another life. So now, again, like you said, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because as we've all noticed in the last year or two, it doesn't matter what one side says, but the other side can't say anything.
Yeah.
And no matter what the other side says, they're in trouble. And that is a prime example of what this situation is. He didn't say anything wrong, in my opinion. We're gonna read it here in just a minute, but he didn't say, as an officer, he did not say anything wrong.
Nothing he said was inaccurate.
He clearly just stated some facts, and now he's getting in trouble for it. He's being set to the side for doing his job and responding in a positive way. I felt it was really positive. There's so much that he probably could have said.
And you know what's amazing about the video that was shared is that you can tell with the intent of the person shooting the video, he was trying to get him in trouble. He's like, it's going to go viral. It's going to go viral.
These guys and gals, and I know I'm preaching to the choir when I'm talking to most of you, but these men and women wearing the badge are facing this every single day. They've got hundreds of cameras on them every day. And not just cameras, but because cameras can be good and cameras can be bad. It's how they're used, what the intent behind it is, okay? But they are getting teased, they're getting antagonized, they're getting ridiculed every day.
Every day.
I don't know how many situations I've been in where there's someone right there at the camera saying, no, instead of just simply recording. If they want to record. But why do you have to open your mouth and make the situation worse? Why can't you just let that officer do his job or her job and go on?
And they're trying to get a reaction.
Yes, they're trying.
They're trying to get the officer in trouble. And you know what really breaks my heart? You know what really breaks my heart about this thing? And we've said on numerous occasions that you should never have to put the color of somebody, what color somebody is, what race somebody is in front of just the fact that they're a human being, right? But in this instance, I don't have a choice because this was a black officer, half black officer. So what about his life? Does it not matter? Because he's classified as mixed, does that not matter?
Yeah. Well, we all know that what matters is what the other side wants.
No.
Whatever the agenda is, that's what matters. These cops don't matter. The victim doesn't matter. None of that matters.
No.
It doesn't matter what policy is. It doesn't matter, any of that doesn't matter. And it's so freaking frustrating. Sorry. But it's so frustrating because we're asking these men and women to do a job and then we're tying their hands.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simply put. It's no wonder nobody wants to go into law enforcement nowadays, or very few anyway. It's no wonder that we've got a shortage, in people applying for jobs, trying to fill positions, across the country. It's no wonder we got departments littered with hundreds and thousands of shortages in officers, There's no wonder. I mean, who in their right mind would want to walk into this situation that law enforcement in this country is in right now? Why would you want to do it? Why would you want to put your life, your family, and everything else in jeopardy?
And here's the thing, and this is where we always try to remain objective and see both sides, is because the enemy here, contrary to what a lot of people want to believe, the enemy here is not the individual, because we're products of our environments. The enemy here is the agenda.
Yep.
The agenda is what this young man that recorded this video, he's angry, he's upset, he feels like a victim. I don't know if he has a father at home or not. I don't have any idea. But he is just as much a victim to this narrative and to this agenda.
That's what I was going to say. Those things that he's feeling, there's some of that probably has, legitimate sources and reasons for it, know. But playing into the agenda and letting this agenda rule this country and each and every one of our lives, we got to say no more.
And that's the very reason. That's the very reason why over the weekend, I created a post here in the group that basically said, that the enemies of America, how they win? It's by convincing people who are free that they're not. It's by convincing them that there are no opportunities for them, that they're oppressed, and that they don't live in the freest society in the world. If you can convince them of that, then all of a sudden, they feel like they've been slighted. And that's exactly what has happened, Blue Crew.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. And so before we dive into this, I want to throw a disclaimer out there. Now, this is for the safety of the group. Okay, we have moderators that bust their buts trying to figure out and determine what's okay for the group and what's not, because they understand that there are several groups that had thousands of people in them that no longer exist today. And it's because there are algorithms on social media that seek out certain verbiage, that seek out certain things. And sometimes it's automated. Other times there are people that manually look for this stuff. And so I am going to say this, and we are going to share this for the safety of this group. Okay. And so we have a little disclaimer, and that is that the views and opinions that are going to be expressed in this article may or may not be the organizational views of Bridge the Blue. Now, as individuals, Troy and myself, we both have our own personal opinions, and we might share some of those today. We might not. But I want to make sure that we throw that disclaimer out there. Okay. And so with that being said, again, this is from the Tatum Report. And actually, before I do that, that brings up another point. If you have yet to subscribe to our Blue Crew, and you're not getting Blue Crew alerts, our Blue Crew email list, I want to encourage you to do that. You need to go do that. As soon as this video is over, you need to go to bridgetheblue.com and you need to subscribe to our Blue Crew email list. And here's why. We have over 107,000 people in this group. We are one of the largest pro-law enforcement groups on Facebook. Guys, this is a movement. Mm-hmm. And if 2 hours from now, the powers that be decide that group is gone, then where does that leave our movement? Where does that leave you? And so if you're not connected directly to us, to the source, because there's a lot of people in this group, Troy, that don't know that this Facebook group belongs to Bridge the Blue. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and our mission or our vision is to make America safe again by bridging the gap between law enforcement and communities. That is what we bleed. And so if you want to make sure that you stay connected to that and you're not left out in the cold, should something happen, you need to go to bridgetheblue.com as soon as this video is over, and you need to subscribe. Scroll just a quarter of the way down the page and you'll see it. Join the Blue Crew. Okay, bridgetheblue.com. So here is the article. This is from tatumreport.com, and most likely we'll be stopping and unpacking this a little bit at a time. So, source inside Metro DC Police says officer from viral video is being unjustly targeted. Officer Seward from the DC Metro Police Department went viral last week after a resident recorded his reaction to a question referencing the shooting death of 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant. Micaiah Bryant died after a Columbus, Ohio police officer shot her while Bryant attempted to stab another woman. I mean, we've already kind of talked about that. Yep. The DC resident recorded Officer Seward responding to whether he would kill him like Micaiah Bryant. Officer Seward responded, "Are you going to try and stab somebody like her?"
Seems like a reasonable response.
Absolutely. Because remember, what happened with Micaiah Bryant was justified. Yeah. There's no dispute. Justified. Fact. Not opinion. A life was saved that day. Tragically, another life was lost. So Officer Seward responded, "Are you going to try to stab somebody like her?" The simple exchange exploded around the world, with the video gathering millions of views on different platforms. This officer was a hero to a fed-up populace that is tired of watching police officers risk their lives for ungrateful people. The half-black police officer who graduated from Howard University, which is an HBCU. Now, if you don't know what that means, that's a historically black college and university, should be able to say whatever he wants according to the left's rules. However, an exclusive and reliable source inside the DC Metro Police Department informed the Tatum Report that Officer Seward is facing backlash all the way from the top. The source claims that Officer Seward is getting punishment for his comments after a multitude of leftist activists hounded the chief of police's office. Chief of Police DC Metro Robert Conti is rumored to be making Officer Seward pay for his viral response. Chief Conti was handpicked by left-wing activist and BLM supporter DC Mayor Bowser. Now, I want to point something out, because this isn't just about a rant. This isn't just about talking about this topic. Again, as we said last week and the week previous, we don't talk about controversial stuff for the subject of controversy. We're not trying to stir things up. But what we are trying to do is wake and shake people up, shake them out of apathy so that we can take some action. And one last thing before I continue. You ever heard of the blue flu? Mm-hmm. I'm going to share a personal opinion. And you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to correct me here live. That's totally fine. I think that's a load of crap. Here's why I personally, Lee Ellis, not Bridge the Blue, Lee Ellis, why I believe the blue flu is a bad idea. Because I have a wife. I have family. I have friends. This is one of my best friends. He's a brother to me. He has a wife. He has kids. He has grandchildren. He has family. The last thing that I want is for a blue flu to take place, where now the streets are even less safe. The streets are already less safe to begin dang with. You saying you want all law enforcement to just have the flu? And then there's no one to enforce the laws? That makes zero sense.
What's that movie where they do that? Where they just kind of sound the siren and everybody gets to go kill whoever they want?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it reminds me of.
I'm trying to remember. I know what movie you're talking about. They've made like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Guys, is that really what we want? I mean, I get the reasoning behind it.
I get it too. But I feel like we, instead of taking steps back like that, we need to be taking steps forward.
Yeah.
We need to be more proactive. We need to be louder. We need to be more vocal. We need to stand up against this leftist agenda.
Come on.
We said it. Yeah, I'll say it. I mean, that's Troy Skeen speaking out, what I believe. So, but we got to stand up against it. And they're going to keep pushing harder and harder to work this agenda, and we've got to keep pushing harder and harder back. It's just, we got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, our country, our families, believe it or not, everything is at stake here. It really is.
And you know what? This is something that I feel very strongly about, is that instead of us asking officers to do more by doing nothing, why the heck don't we do something? Why do we always expect our officers to be the ones that are taking a stand? They're the ones taking action. What about us?
No, we need to take an action.
What about the blue crew?
Yeah.
What about the citizens? What about those that say we love and appreciate them? When are we going to step up to the plate? When are we going to do something? Well, we've got something for you to do. If you stick with us through to the end of this, we've got some action that you can take. And I want to reread a paragraph here, because this is exactly what we're going to do. I understand sometimes you got to fight fire with fire, so to speak. I get it. But a blue flu is not the answer. So I'm going to reread the paragraph. The source claims that Officer Seward is getting punished for his comments after a multitude of leftist activists hounded the chief of police's office. This is mob rule. And you know what? If they can do it, so can we.
Yeah.
So stick around to the end, because we're gonna give you some actions that you can take. If all 107,000 people in this community took the action steps that we're gonna give you at the end of this, then maybe we can make a dent.
Yeah. I don't think so many of us understand the power that we have. Even with this group, and some might say, well, 107,000, that's not very many people, And in the grand scheme of things, maybe it's not. But
you know how big my hometown of Brady, Texas is?
Not very big.
54. Yeah, you've been there. 5,400 people.
Yeah.
we've got a small city
Yeah.
right here in this group.
Yeah. And the power that we have in this group is just, it's crazy if we choose to use it. If we choose to use it. So again, I want to encourage you guys, stick around, because what we're going to ask and what we're going to, encourage you to do, you can do from home.
Yep.
You don't have to go anywhere.
Doesn't get any easier.
So anyway.
A further claim that Officer Seward was stripped of his regular pay and is now limited to base pay salary was divulged. The officer is also allegedly losing out of thousands of dollars due to the pay decrease. The source claims that Officer Seward is on desk duty as his powers as a police officer were revoked and he no longer possesses a gun.
No, this is the guy that saved this gal's life.
Well, no. This is the person that made the comments.
Right, but I'm just saying the person that's being put on desk duty is the same officer that just saved somebody's life, hours and days before. Now being put to a desk because of some verbiage. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm ranting here. So.
The thing that really breaks my heart about this, Troy, the thing that really breaks my heart about this Blue Crew is that these are people that they choose to serve and to protect as a calling. They don't do it to make money. They don't do it to get rich.
They definitely don't do it to make money.
And the amount of officers that are out there that have to go out there and moonlight, they have to get second jobs.
Second, third.
Fourth.
Yeah.
A lot of them do private security because what they get paid isn't enough. And now here Officer Seward is getting a reduction in pay. Not only is he stripped of pay that he rightfully deserved, but now he's been given desk duty. His gun's been taken away from him. He's no longer to perform his duties, which he so valiantly chose to go into a profession to do. DC Metro Police Department told Seward that his comments were
Breathe.
a disgrace to the police department, better known as conduct unbecoming of a police officer. It's also claimed that Seward is facing up to 20 plus days of leave without pay. Man,
I just reach over here and I pull the bullcrap card. That is a load of bullcrap.
Are officers not allowed to be human? Are they expected to be machines?
Yeah, it's just bullcrap.
Does this type of response from a department, from higher ups, does that encourage officers to wake up every day and do the right thing? Does it encourage officers to be proactive in their duties?
Yeah.
This is what we do?
Yeah.
Is this what we do now?
Way to stand behind them.
So again, I want you guys to think about last year. Seattle, Portland, Minneapolis, cities all over the country, and about how so many people are like, why don't the officers just step up and do the right thing? Job be damned.
Yep.
Well, a lot of times, number one, they're not getting paid enough to begin with. And beyond that, Blue Crew, their higher ups are the ones ultimately that are responsible. And I couldn't imagine being put in a position where every ounce of me wants to step in and protect. But I've got orders coming from above saying, stand down.
Yep. Don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
Don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
How many lives have been cost?
Let's just give them a trophy.
How many lives have been cost, Blue Crew? How many lives have been sacrificed upon an altar of political correctness?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's time to become patriotically correct. Upon learning about these unfolding events, Officer Brandon Tatum did a video to weigh in on this matter. Now, we have this video, and we are going to share this video with our Blue Crew update list. So if you are not on that Blue Crew update list, we're not going to be sharing it here in the group. So you want to make sure you go to bridgetheblue.com and make sure that you subscribe to our Blue Crew email/update list. Okay, and bluecrew.com. I'm sorry, bridgetheblue.com.
You're getting there.
Yeah. And as Brandon says in that video, we don't believe in just talking, but doing. And right now, Officer Seward needs us to do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we can do, because it's time that we respectfully made our voices heard to those in charge of DC Metro. So what we're going to do is we're going to join Officer Tatum in asking that you use the following information. I hope you've got a pen and a piece of paper. And if I have any moderators that are here, if you guys can write this down in the comments so people have them, we're going to give you names, email addresses, and phone numbers. Now, I want to go back. I want to remind everybody. I'm going to read it again. The source claims that Officer Seward is getting punished for his comments after a multitude of leftist activists hounded the chief of police's office. Well, now it's time for us to also hound his office in support of Officer Seward.
And here's how you do it.
So we're asking that you use the following information to support Officer Seward. Remember, the left is going to use any anger or spiteful messages that you leave against Seward. So be brave, but be smart.
Yeah. Remember, they can only be spiteful.
So this is Chief Robert J. Conti III, Commander. If there's a moderator that is that can write this down, put this all in one comment, and I'll tell you whenever you can press send on the comment. So this is Chief Robert, Robert J, letter J, Conti, Contee, the third, Commander. Here is his email address. Robert, Robert, dot Contee, Contee, at dc.gov. Robert.Contee at dc.gov. I'm going to read it one more time. Robert dot Contee. What sticks out to me is that con.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, kind of a sidebar there. At dc.gov. Phone number 202 727 4218. 202 727 4218. Now here's the second name that we have for you. Andre Wright, that's Andre. Wright is Wright, 7th Police District. Andre Wright, 7th Police District. Here is his email address. Andre, Andre, dot Wright. So Andre.Wright at dc.gov. Phone number 202 698 1400. Again, phone number for Andre Wright, 7th Police District is 202 698 1400. Now, I want to be crystal clear. We're not telling you to harass them. We're not telling you to threaten them. That's not what this is about. This is about flooding their offices with support for Officer Seward. If the left can do this, if the anti-police, those that subscribe to the anti-police rhetoric can do this, then so can we.
We got to stand up for this officer.
We've got to do more than what we've been doing. We have to. And so that's the call to action. Hey, whether you do it or not, we're going to do it. Whether you do it or not is totally up to you. But if you say that you support law enforcement, and if you think that this is BS, it's time to let your voice be heard. This is something tangible that we can do to show this officer that we appreciate him finally standing up to all of the garbage And so with that being said, man, my blood's starting to boil. Is there any last words, man, that you have? I mean, I kind of want to figure out how to leave today on a positive note.
Well, I mean,
this is just frustrating.
Yeah, I just want to leave on a positive note in the sense of we've got a lot of men and women out there wearing that badge that are doing absolutely amazing jobs. And I believe from the sound of it and from what I can see and have read and watched that this Officer Seward, he did a great job. And I think he did a great job responding as well to the questions. And I just want to encourage everybody, continue to stand up for our men and women in blue. They are doing a fabulous job. A lot of their hands are being tied, and we just need to continue to support them. We challenged you here recently. Go out and buy them some pizza, send them some food, flag them down, wave, give them a high five, whatever. Let them know that you're supporting them. And they need it. They need it
Big
today.
time.
They really need it. So, and it's things that each and every one of us can do. And it may seem so small, but I'm telling you, it is huge. It is so huge for these men and women to know that they're supported. None of us want to go through life not knowing we're supported, not knowing we got people standing with us and behind us and in front of us and et cetera. They need it too. They need it. So I want to say thank you to all of you that are wearing the badge, that's watching this. You men and women are amazing.
Come on.
You're our heroes. You are heroes each and every day you put on that uniform. So thank you, and thank you again.
Definitely appreciate you. And, we like to encourage you that if you like what we're doing here at Bridge the Blue, if you like being part of a group that's actually not just complaining and talking about the problems, but we're actually trying to do something to bridge that gap to make America safe again. And you have people outside of the group that you think would love to be part of what we're doing, feel free to invite them to the group. And if you have yet to connect with us, we're on all the social channels. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, We're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. We're on all of those platforms. And again, want to make sure that you go to bridgetheblue.com and sign up for our Blue Crew newsletter, Blue Crew update list, whatever you want to call it. Because should anything ever happen to this group, it's imperative that we all stick together. And our email list is something that we continue to communicate with you. And if we move to another platform, then you guys can come with us and we can just transfer the movement over to the new platform. But, if you're not part of that list, you're not part of our Blue Crew, and we don't have your name and email address, then you're going to miss out. So I want to encourage you to do that. With that, hope you enjoyed today. And it was a little bit different of a tone. But I think it was good. Sometimes we need a little shaking up. We need to get a little riled up.
We need to get riled up.
Yeah, we definitely need to.
Yeah, in a positive way.
So thanks for tuning in, guys. We love you guys, and God bless.
Thanks. Bye.